Here are 10 disasters, natural, technological, and human-made, that nearly ended the world or had global existential potential. These events highlight just how close humanity has come to catastrophe, often without the general public realizing it. 1. The Cuban Missile Crisis. What happened? A standoff between the U.S. and Soviet Union over nuclear missiles in Cuba. How close? A single miscommunication could have triggered full-scale nuclear war. At one point, a Soviet submarine almost launched a nuclear torpedo before being convinced to stand down. Why it matters. It was the closest the world has ever come to nuclear annihilation. 2. The Black Death. What happened? A deadly plague swept through Europe, killing an estimated 30 to 60% of the population. How close? It drastically reduced the global population and could have collapsed entire civilizations if it had lasted longer or spread further. Why it matters. It reshaped global demographics and economies permanently. 3. The Toba supervolcano eruption. What happened? A massive volcanic eruption in present-day Indonesia. How close? Caused a volcanic winter, possibly reducing the global human population to as few as 2,000 individuals. Why it matters. Humanity may have come within a whisker of extinction. 4. 1983 Soviet nuclear false alarm. What happened? Soviet early warning systems mistakenly detected a U.S. nuclear strike. How close? Stanislav Petrov, the officer on duty, judged it to be a false alarm and refused to launch a retaliatory strike. Why it matters. A single individual's decision averted global thermonuclear war. 5. The Spanish flu pandemic. What happened? An unusually deadly influenza pandemic. How close? Infected 500 million people. Estimated 50 to 100 million deaths. Why it matters. Spread faster than many modern viruses due to World War I troop movements. 6. The Chicxulub asteroid impact. What happened? An asteroid struck Earth near modern-day Mexico. How close? It did end the world for the dinosaurs. Massive climate effects followed. Why it matters. It paved the way for mammals, but shows how vulnerable Earth is to space threats. 7. The Cold War nuclear arms race. What happened? An arms buildup with thousands of nuclear warheads. How close? Several near misses. Why it matters. Any accidental or deliberate launch could have ended civilization. 8. Chernobyl nuclear disaster. What happened? Reactor 4 at the Chernobyl nuclear power plant exploded. How close? A second explosion was narrowly avoided. It could have rendered much of Europe uninhabitable. Why it matters. Showed the global danger of poorly managed nuclear power. 9. Climate change. What's happening? Long-term global warming from greenhouse gas emissions. How close, if unchecked, could lead to mass extinctions, global famine, wars, and ecosystem collapse? Why it matters. It's a slow-motion disaster with escalating existential risk. 10. AI all biotech risks. What's happening? Advances in artificial intelligence or engineered pathogens could lead to disasters. How close? Not yet realized, but considered top existential threats by experts. Why it matters. These technologies are powerful and poorly regulated.